Let's talk about royal news. Prince Harry and King Charles, of course, they met for less than an hour at Clarence House when Harry went to the UK. First time they'd seen each other in more than a year and a half. And the Mail on Sunday reported over the weekend that Prince Harry's claims that men in grey suits are trying to sabotage his reconciliation with the King. Now, Angela, no further meetings have been penciled in, but they're not ruled out either. Also, Harry's kind of issued a scathing response to reports that his recent reunion with his father, King Charles, was distinctly formal and left him feeling more like an official visitor rather than family. There was a rare statement given to Page 6, a spokesperson saying that the sabotaging remarks are categorically false. What do you make of this?
Look, this is super interesting. Who has leaked? Who has leaked the fact that it's formal, or is it made up? Because Harry, I do not believe Harry would have leaked anything after that meeting. It's too fragile and he wants it too much. And that's why he's come out and said, I didn't say this. And there were details, of course, in the report about the exchange of gifts, including that there was a photo given to Charles of Archie and Lily, about Harry's children. Harry knows how fragile it is to restore this relationship. And on the very first instance, there's been leaks from this meeting. And all Harry wants is to re-establish that reconciliation. Look, I can fully believe that it was a very short formal meeting, but I don't believe Harry has said as much, unless he said it in passing to somebody who's passed it on. It's unfortunate because we all actually want this old man who's the king, who is struggling with cancer, to have a relationship with his son, and yet the waters keep being muddied all the time. And this relationship is so tenuous and fragile that they can't, either sides. Also, the use of the name, the expression men in grey suits, that was an expression Diana used to use about the palace courtiers. And I think the fact that it's been credited to Harry, or that's why he's probably come out and denied it, because it is it's a direct dig, although of course he did use those words in spare. So yeah, look, interesting one to watch there. I do hope they spend more time together. We'll see.
Now, Prince William and Princess Catherine could be heading down under, which would be very exciting for us, with their children. This would be the first time in more than 10 years. Follows an invitation from our Prime Minister Anthony Albanese during his 90-minute sit-down with King Charles at Balmoral Castle over the weekend. Angela, that would be brilliant for us.
We would love it because, as you say, the last time they came here with Prince George, he was a little baby. They were due to come during around 2020, but of course COVID knocked that over. The idea, there's a lot of speculation that this might happen around July, August 2026, which is when the children would have their summer holidays in the UK, and also before George starts high school. So look, I can see it happening. Of course, that invitation is always extended. It is never going to reflect badly on us as a nation to have the most famous people in the world visiting, is it? So I think that's an open invitation. But it's whether Kate, having gone through what she's gone through, would take on the stress and the long distance flight. Also, you have to imagine how much of that would be a family holiday for them if they did bring the kids. I mean, the issues around security, yes, you can go to the zoo and see a koala and you can see a kangaroo, but there would have to be some measure of a family break within that, and we know how difficult that is for them when they try to have a break.
And there's been some concern for dog lovers, I'm hearing, among Windsor locals. Dog owners are furious at this no-go zone around Kate and William's new home after this barrier has been placed and CCTV cameras have been installed to protect, of course, the privacy of royal families. But not everyone's happy about it.
I know, they're going to have to get over themselves because Kate and William are moving house. It means that they need a bigger exclusion zone around that new house. There's a gate into Windsor Great Park, which dog owners used to come in, they'd park in the car park and they'd take their dogs for a walk. That access way into the Windsor Great Park is now been closed off. They were only given a week's notice. They're very upset about it. But the fact is, if the Royals own the park, they, if they decide to move houses, then, access might be. So you're going to have to walk around to another entrance. I feel so sorry for them.
Finally, before I let you go, the Duke and Duchess of York will not be welcome at the royal family Christmas celebrations. The King is said to be keen to keep the pair at arm's length, making it clear that he'd also like them to be a little bit more discreet when attending family occasions. Is that right?
I don't think we'll potentially ever see them at a Christmas again. I mean, these are what's happened with the Jeffrey Epstein and Fergie, and the fact she was in contact with him after she knew he was a convicted sex offender, and the kind of play between what she said publicly and what she said privately. is so damaging. And we saw at the recent royal funeral that William was trying very, very hard not to speak to Prince Andrew. Look, they cannot be there for Christmas. And who I feel sorry for is, of course, their two daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, who have never put a foot wrong, who want to be part of the royal family, who stand up with William whenever he needs, ballast at garden parties and that sort of thing. And then now in the position, do they go to Sandringham, or as Beatrice went last year, to Italy, where her husband's family are? But how do you spend Christmas with your family and yet also be part of the royal family? So hard for them. It's a really difficult situation.
Angela Mollard, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.